Shivas Nefesh Pei Dalet. People think Yerushalayim, when I have Yerushalayim, that's when you're on a level. When you're not on a high level, what's Yerushalayim? What does Yerushalayim do with me? Fear of heaven, but on a low level. Fear of heaven, first you got to get back together, then we can worry about being a Yerushalayim. But that's not exactly true. There are different levels of Yerushalayim. There's nothing that teach us and tell us Yerushalayim applies to you even if you're on a low level. Even someone who fell very, very far, a person is in a place where he's falling, he's sinning, he's making mistakes, he's erring, he's not in a good place. So, he has to have a lot of years from Hashem. Even in this place. This chazik is asked b'chol nekul nekul sheyochol lemalef es nafshu b'yom limshach es asked b'chol. So bizarre. And you think, very, very intriguing. You think Yerushalayim means, now you're afraid or something. So Nassim again continued with his definition of Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim doesn't mean afraid. It means taking heaven for real. Taking Hashem for real now in my situation. It doesn't mean feeling bad for yourself. It means realizing and understanding in a deep way. Listen to that. It still makes a difference. In Maisa with the Rebbe Zusha. The Rebbe Zusha, he got up before the Olam and he said, Hashem, we're His beloved children. His beloved children, He loves us so much, we can't even begin to understand. He said, so how can we have such brazenness, to do such averas, to do such sins? Like, well, He loves us so much. We're His beloved children. How can it be? If we really, And the whole other story, the Rebbe Zusha said it was such Yerushalayim, and he worked on Yura, that was his old midah, very strong midah, Yerushalayim. Everyone started crying. It really touched them. It's not Yerushalayim. Not a simple thing. Not kosher. We have to know it's a big difference. There was a very good Tanchach on the Mamshik. Mamshik had a hard time when he was younger. He said, the way I always want to learn, although he learned very well, he learned Nach before he went into the Samsov Yeshiva. Nach, Mishnayos, but Gemara, he had a very hard time. It was impossible. He had such a hard time. He would spend the whole day learning. After the day, the next morning he wakes up, doesn't remember a word, nothing. I don't remember anything. Do we learn 1%? Like, I know, and how he feels. Maybe anyway, actually, there's not anything.
I know how he feels.
Yeah, people that realize at a certain time. But this is like a little kid. He wants so much to learn. So he was one of the younger kids in the yeshiva. So this is what he had to do to remember anything. He said, I had to learn one day, Sunday, and then counted everything, worked it out. Monday morning, I remember nothing. Monday, the same thing again, fresh. And then Tuesday again, then I remembered and stayed with me. Otherwise, I couldn't remember. Yeah, 3 times. That's how hard he worked. He learned so much. It was incredible. He knew the Chassam Sofer once sent somebody to he needed a tour. We went to his town, which is a road. So he said to his Shamish, whoever, Talmud, whoever was, went to the Mamshik. He said the Chassam Sofer asked for a tour. He says, why? He said, I can't give him a tour, but if you tell me what simon he's looking for, I'll write it out for my copy. I can't learn the tour. He said, okay, a sim of this, he sat down, whatever, 20 minutes. He copied the whole sif out, everything out. You gave it to him, so he went to brought to the top, said, nothing but strange. You usually have for a sif, but if I lose it, pretty careful with people's belongings, I want to place it, like what? It's very unusual. So he was wondering, what could this mean? So after he went to the bathhouse, he went out, and he went to Mamshik. He said, now that I'm done with the methods, I'd like to see the tour inside. Nevertheless, thank you for the copy, but I'd like to see it inside. He said, well, actually, I don't have a tour, but I wrote everything from memory. He's like, wow, even my great father, some Sefer, couldn't do that. That's pretty, everything, the whole Beis Yosef, like just any simon anywhere, and he just, he said, before he heard what simon, he said, I'll just give you a copy. It means he can answer anything, no problem, I'll write it out for you. Incredible. The Mashiach, when he was older, when he was, the end of his life, he was very, very sick. He was very, very, all his limbs were puffed up. He was very, very ill. He couldn't move. He stayed in bed all day, couldn't learn, couldn't anything. And his Talmidim came to see him. He asked Hashem, he said, Baruch Shalom, I just want to live. Even if the only thing I can do is say one verse, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, every day, it's still worth it. All the pain and the yisur, it's still worth it. You know what Shema Yisrael is? So Nassim reveals to us a murder soul. He said, your Shemayim doesn't end when a person fell away. It's a matter of taking seriously taking seriously our obligation to Shemayim, taking seriously that I'm beloved, it's up to Hashem. That's what Yerushalayim, really Yerushalayim is. That's the foundation of Yerushalayim. You have to have very profound Yerushalayim from Hashem. If you have profound Yerushalayim, you're going to be mechazik yourself. And say, okay, yeah, Shema Yisrael, I have this Nekuda, I have that Nekuda, I have to strengthen myself. Every Nekuda, he said, strengthen yourself, not to fall so much. The mind is not shemina, to save yourself from falling further, from evil, and draw yourself to doing good. Be ayif to esatzmo. But you shouldn't say, oh, well, I have a P'tor. No, I'm okay. Why? Well, I have a P'tor. Now, maybe not okay, but it's too late. I'm such a far place, so what's the point of Yerushalayim? It's too late. It's finished. It's over. There was a person, there's a famous joke they used to say, there was a Baya, and someone said, give him chicken soup, something. I tell a joke, says, what, the man's not, he's the only one in the world of the living, give him chicken soup, what's this, a joke? So the person said, listen, it can't hurt. It can't hurt, it's too late, it's over, it can't hurt, but it's not going to help, it's over. Chicken soup's not going to help him, maybe he's alive, maybe not. But now it's too late, it's too late. But the Rebbe says, as long as you're alive, there's no such thing. It does help. Every mitzvah, like the Rebbe says, every little bit, every second, every instant, the Shema Yisrael, even whatever you can chop, yes, it's worth like we mentioned before, even for doing whatever you can, that little tiny bit. It's also worth it to live, even life Yisurim. There's a story with the real Diskin. He used to visit somebody. This woman who was also very, very special woman. She was older, and she couldn't go to the bathroom, couldn't move, and there was no one to really take care of her. Her kids were probably chutzor, she weren't in Israel, she lived in Israel, and no one was able to deal with her problems. So she had a nurse come once a week. She paid a person to clean her up, and the real Diskin visited her on Shom Shugalim. So he won't tell her, he said, how do you have the stamina to keep going? You can't say any brachas, no dibuk kedusha. You have a person has excrement around him, and I'll let us say any brachas, not do anything. You just sit and then go through your life, go through until you're. I can't understand. What gives you the ability to keep going? She says, after I'm clean, I have a chance to say at least one Ashiyotzer. She said, that's worth it. Once a week Ashiyotzer, mamash kedai. That's what we have to have. We have to learn from her. We say, once a week it's worth it. She said, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Chalila, chas v'shalom, person thinks such a thing. Lo yisig Yisrael, no Jew should think this way. I'm so far away, it doesn't matter. It matters. He says, Adrab, you have Yerushalayim. What does Yerushalayim mean? You're afraid of Hashem? That Hashem exists? Yeah, Hashem exists, so what do you think? You're hidden from Hashem now that you're in such a dark place? Adrab, light it up with some good. Do whatever you possibly can. Hashem has to apply in his life in reality very, very much. Even if he's in the furthest place, the lowest netherworld. Hashem is everywhere. That means no matter where you're going to, you've got to, on the one hand, don't give up. On the other hand, do whatever you can. Don't let go. Don't even one Ashiyot, or even one Shema Yisrael, whatever I can do, not to let go, not to feel, it doesn't matter. It matters. It matters so much. We can't begin to appreciate it. We can't begin to understand it. Hashem Shem Zocha to Yirah L'chaim. The Gemara says so much. Yirah with vitality, with kedusha, the way it's supposed to be. Not a Yirah in a way that makes the person nervous or negative. But Adrabah, Yirah in a way that's going to bring him up to Hashem and it's going to bring him close to Hashem the way he should be.
Should do another one?
If you have time, I would.
I have another 10 minutes.
Okay, so that means
Another 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
let's turn it along a little bit.